my first week in the job, which was about 10 years ago, I met a very special volunteer, Pat McMillian. She's right over there. Pat told me about an idea that she had and shared with me that she had been working on it with a group of supporters and people and researching and had a committee, and they'd been working on it for several years. Her dream was to have a one-room schoolhouse at Burritt and have all the fourth graders in our vicinity attend as they were studying Alabama history. You see, there was a big part of our history that very few people knew about. The story of the Rosenwald School is considered by many as the beginning of the civil rights movement. It's a wonderful story about a second-generation Jewish philanthropist meeting a wonderful African-American man named Booker T. Washington. They had so much in common. They were both self-made men. They believed in offering a hand up, not a handout. Together, they established the Rosenwald Fund and provided seed money for over 5,000 schools in 12 southern states. We had 405 right here in Alabama and 9 in Madison County. At its peak, over 40% of all African Americans in Alabama attended a Rosenwald school. So I loved the idea, but I soon realized after getting here that there were some other things at Burritt that really needed to come first. We needed to take care of the buildings that we already had, get them really in tip-top shape, and we needed to come up with some other revenue streams and build up our membership, our volunteer base, and our supporters. But I made a promise to her that day that we would build the school. So over the next years, with the input from many focus groups, including the school systems, we decided to go even bigger and better. So we decided to model this after a 3-teacher Rosenwald school. And then having 2 classrooms will allow classes to share a bus, so it'll be more economical, and at the same time we'll also be able to teach twice as many students. We also decided to add an industrial room that many of the schools had, and we are going to incorporate into that authentic tinsmithing equipment. That Miss Pat is also a master tinsmith, and she is donating her entire collection of authentic authentic items. So we're going to be able to use those rooms on the nights, of course, that we're not having classes, on weekends, for community events, and hold classes for our next dream, that of building a folk life school at Burritt. Office space for our teachers is also being incorporated, and we need that desperately. Where is my friend Tammy? So our director of education is actually going to be able to move out of the supply closet, which is where her office is, and there she is over there. So this schoolhouse incorporates every single part of our mission statement, which is to enhance lives and build community through educational, artistic, and recreational experiences while preserving our heritage, land, and historic structures. So really, it hits every single one of those points, and I'm just ecstatic that we're finally here today.
Thank you. So looking at my age, you probably figured that my Rosenwald School was not a 1, 2, or 3 schoolroom frame house. It was a brick building in Monroeville, Alabama. Monroe County, which is the literary capital of the state, where Nell Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, and some very well-known writers have come out of the area. So I did attend Rosenwald School. It was a segregated school. All of my siblings who attended school, not all of them attended school. I was the youngest of 13, raised by in a farm family. And so when Leslie mentioned Rosenwald School during my tenure on the board, I became very excited about it. And we did talk with some persons locally who had attended some of the frame Rosenwald schools here in the county. And one of the things I did was 2 years ago, just September, when we launched the Valley Weekly, I thought the story was important enough to make it the cover story. And so the first Friday in September of 2014, I am afraid of lightning. So are we good? think we're good. I'm afraid of lightning and snakes. So we became very excited about the Rosenwald School project and joined Leslie and the board and the community and the city in our efforts to make this day a reality. So I would personally like to thank all of you, and if you want to hear more about, all of our teachers were African Americans, and in my community, the professionals we knew who looked like us were African Americans. I didn't know an African American doctor or dentist or lawyer. So our teachers were our role models, and our schools were where we went to see African Americans in professional positions. So if you'd like to talk more about Rosenwald School in Monroe County, I see a couple of people here from the county. We can probably tell you a little bit more about it, but in the interest of time and weather, I'll stop there.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to thank everybody here. And particularly, we know that it takes a village to do things. We've heard that. In this case, it takes a city. Thank you, Mayor Tommy Battle. Thank you to the City Council. We really appreciate your enthusiasm and your support from the get-go on this project. Again, in the interest of weather, I also want to mention the 3 school districts, Huntsville City School, Madison City Schools, and Madison County Schools, who have provided and continue to provide very, very valuable guidance, coaching, and help in designing the curriculum that Leslie and Pat talked about. Because this will be, in the Rosenwald School, the actual curriculum that those 4th graders would have studied in their regular classrooms. This will not be a field trip day. They will not lose class time. It is a regular school day for them. And without the help of the 3 school districts, we could not do that. We would not have the expertise ourselves.
I want to start off with the first things that happened to me after I took on this challenge, and was I went to see Butch. And I remember I was sitting in her living room, and she was giving me guidance, and Jerry came in and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, she's giving me advice." He says, "I'm leaving." But Butch was really helpful, because obviously she's an inspiration in this particular field, and she helped me greatly, and I thank you, Butch, for that. Next, surprisingly, I need to thank the staff here at Burritt, particularly Caroline, you're hiding over there, and Leslie. The 2 of them are really who put this all together. Someone like me and the other members of the board, all we did was kind of follow their lead. They put the organization to it. You know, I'm kind of a bull in a china shop, and Leslie and Caroline are real organized, so they kind of kept me straight, so I appreciate that. Also, I need to thank Lowell. He's going to speak here in a minute, but unbelievable, Lowell. Your work is just phenomenal. Thank you. And also the whole board of directors, both the board that we have now as well as the board that has passed. You know, we turn over board members. We have 100% support from all the board and from all the previous board. And that is a testament to the quality of the board and their belief in the effectiveness of this. All right, so quick. Mayor, thank you very much. We really appreciate the city's support. You've allowed us to get this thing going now instead of waiting a few years, and we thank you. The Madison County Commission was also contributed. All of the North Alabama state reps and legislators also contributed. 100% have assisted in this project. And Tony, you're the man, and we know you're going to continue to bring forth more effort from them. Now, specific thanks. Deke Damson, I know you're here somewhere. Deke, I want to thank you for your generous contribution. Claudia Kahn, thank you also for great support. Jan Smith, I don't see you here, but Jan Smith is a major contributor to our effort, and I want to thank her. And then the Damsons, Butch and Jerry, major contributors to this effort, and I want to thank them. And now I want to do one more thing before it rains. We want to unveil the schoolhouse.